Welcome to week 4. We are going to be discussing again the minor arcana, but we are going to start now getting into the wands. The first week, we're going to talk about that ace through 3 of wands. So let's dive right in. So, wands represents fire. So, the correlating zodiac signs that would relate to the fire is Aries, Leos, and Sagittariuses. When I think of wands, the general theme is travel, career, physical movement. So when a wand gets pulled out in your spread, you know that there's going to be some type of movement happening, physical movement happening. So the first card we're going to talk about is Ace of Wands. So if we look at the picture in the image, there is a cloud with a hand sticking out of it holding a wand. So again, aces always mean that new beginnings. The general context for Aces of Wands is new beginnings, physical strength, and it can indicate some sort of new travel. When we look at Ace of Wands, when specifically talking about a career, this is a very positive card. You're going to be able to start finding new purpose in either your job or your career or your roles in your job. This could mean that there's going to be some physical movement. So you might be even leaving the job and finding a new job. You might be getting a promotion, something along that line of physical movement happening in your career. You could also be moving for your career as well. In a relationship, it is still, again, very positive, new beginnings or new eras, sense of restarting. The new movement in a relationship could indicate some sort of vacation, travel, maybe you're moving homes. It can also represent pregnancy if it's paired with a fertility card. If you're single, this means that there's going to be new adventures coming and movement will be made soon with a possible love match. Now we're going to be talking about the Two of Wands. So the imaging is a man standing in between two wands. He is holding one wand and he has the world in the other hand. It is pretty self-explanatory, I think, when pairing it with this imaging. The general context is you are weighing two alternatives. You have two decisions to make that you could be seeking some sort of change and you're ready to make that change. Um, the holding on to one hand kind of means that you've already have your decision of what one you're going to be leaning towards, and whatever you're leaning towards is the correct decision. And with the world in the hand, the world is literally in the palm of your hand. You can succeed. It's a very positive card. So the Two of Wands in general are very, if you're going into a general context, it could be a lot about your career or your relationships. So these ones are kind of, you have to use your intuition to know exactly which direction this card is pulling you to. It is generally a very positive card, but because you're having those two options, those two things you're debating between, you could possibly be having doubts about what this change needs to be. Um, but it's important to remember that you're going to find that great new purpose very soon. You kind of have to just listen to yourself and trust that gut, and your career will push you in the right direction. Um, if you're in a relationship, you could be kind of bouncing back and forth if I need to pursue further with this relationship, focus more time on this relationship, or pursue my career and focus more of my time on my career. Really listen to yourself. Think about your long term goals. Where do you want to see yourself in X amount of time? If you need to focus on your career so you can feel that self fulfillment, or if you need to worried about starting a family in your timeline and you need to start putting more energy into that, then that's where you're kind of leaning towards and moving towards. If you're single, um, you are doubting if it's time to focus on your career. This could mean that you're like, you focused on it and now you're deciding, okay, can I take a step back or add on to my focus with getting into a relationship? Um, you could also be recently asked to go on a physical date and you're considering going. Trust your gut. Um, that's going to be very important. If you feel like this is an unsafe or not the type of route you want to go on with this person, it's okay to say no. Um, and it's okay to say yes if it's this kind of a leap of faith. You're going to have to see what the other cards around it say with which direction they should be going. Okay, and finally for this week, we're going to talk about the Three of Wands. So the imaging is a man waiting for a ship or a boat. He's waiting for something, and he's holding on to one of the wands with two standing next to him. The general meaning of this is that that decision you were weighing between, you have now made that decision and you're going to start seeing progress. It's really important just to have patience during this time. So, when talking about the Three of Wands within career, it's going to be important to remember to be flexible during this time. There may be some new coworkers and some partnerships that are going to be forming. Your work is going to start paying off. So, it's remember just have that patience and you'll get through this kind of transition period. In a relationship, you are going to be moving forward in the decisions that you've made. If that's a trip, purpose, or purchase, family planning, ending the relationship, um, whatever the decision that you were leaning towards, are starting to move forward with that decision. If you're single, so this means that you've been putting work into having a relationship. So if that means flirtation, couple dates, getting to know someone, that work that you put into that relationship is going to start paying off. You could also be just planting some seeds and um, setting up some groundwork, doing work even just with yourself, like seeking therapy and y- we're doing the work for yourself so that you can be healthy in a relationship. That work that you've been putting in and doing are going to slowly start to pay off and be more beneficial towards you. So that is the end of week 4. If you have any questions, let me know. There is plenty of resources over on my school community. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can hop on over to my school and access those free resources. Thank you so much for watching.